What's going on, everybody? Time for the Week 11 preview show. All right, so like I said, it's Week 11. I'm going to talk about the Week 10 matchups, take a look at the standings and power rankings, then we'll get a look at the playoff picture, and then I'll take a look at the Week 11 matchups. All right, Week 10 matchups. Our first one, we had Brady taking down Malm's team by a score of 107.2 to 83.8. Not a great showing by either team, but Brady pulled out the win. He was led in scoring by RG3 with 27.6, and Malm was led in scoring by Andre Johnson with 20.7. Brady picks up a game on Malm in the playoff race. He's now 4-6, and Malm drops to 5-5. In the next matchup, my team, the butt fumbling foot fetishers, beat Tony's team 159.2 to 124. Tony was led in scoring by Calvin Johnson with 26.3, and I was led in scoring by my dynamic duo of Demarius Thomas and AJ Green. Demarius Thomas had 35.8. This was a big win for me. I get a 2-game lead in the division. I'm now 7-3, and Tony is 5-5. Third matchup, we had Katie's team, You're in Trouble, taking down Nutcracker's Bitch by a score of 148.4 to 125.9. Katie was led in scoring by Brandon Marshall with 32.9 points, and Ring was led in scoring by Mr. Drew Brees with 31.7. He had himself a hell of a game on Sunday night, so got to commend him for that. Katie moves to 6-4, and Ring is now at the bottom with 3-7. Our final matchup from Week 10 is between Josh and Jonna. Josh's team of JJ's, won this matchup 141.7 to 125.3. This matchup was a lot closer than I had thought it would be, but kudos to Jonna for putting a good lineup this week and fighting for a victory. I think that was her highest score since Week 1, so maybe she's back to make a fight towards the playoffs. Who knows? We'll have to see about that. Here's a look at the standings after Week 10. In the East Division, we've got my team, the butt fumbling foot fetishers, in first place with a 7-3 record. And I just realized that the records are not shown on this picture, so I'll just say everyone's record. So like I said, I'm 7-3 in first place. Tied for second place, we've got Tony and Malm. They both have a 5-5 record, so I've got a 2-game lead on them. Tony would take a tiebreaker if they ended up tied right now anyway, because Tony scored more points, but it's relatively close, so I think either one of them could end up taking it in the end. And fourth place in the East Division, we've got Brady's team, 40 ounces and a lot of bush. He's got a 4-6 record and has a pretty good point total, so if he can make up that game on Tony or Malm, I think he's got a pretty good shot to increase his spot in the rankings. So pretty much comes down to anyone in this division, so it'll be really interesting to see how it plays out. In the West, we've got Josh in first yet again. No change there, obviously. He's got a pretty huge lead in the point department, so I think he'll be all right no matter what happens. Second place, we've got Katie's team, You're in Trouble, with a 6-4 record. So just a game behind Josh, so could take over first if he gets a couple victories. And tied for third, we've got Ring and Jonna at 3-7, but Ring has a pretty big edge in points, so we'll have to see what happens there. Here's the Week 10 power rankings. Not a lot of change this week, but a couple slight changes here and there. So first place, yet again, is Josh's team of JJ's. He's got about a 100-point lead on me for the tiebreaker, since we have the same record, so still a pretty commanding lead this late in the season. Second place is my team, the butt fumbling foot fetishers. Third place, we've got Tony's team, Make It Dwayne on Them Bows. He's been a lot better in the recent weeks, so we'll have to see if he can keep climbing the power rankings. Fourth place is Katie's team, You're in Trouble, up one spot from last week. Has a 6-4 record and actually has a pretty reasonable shot of overtaking Josh for first if she can get a couple victories, and maybe Josh can get upset a couple times. Fifth place is Brady's team, 40 ounces and a lot of bush. He's also up one from last week. Sixth place is Malm's Stafford Infection, Dropped 2 spots this week, had a pretty rough week 10, so maybe you can climb back up. 7th place in the power rankings is Ring's team, Nutcracker's Bitch, and in 8th is Jana's team, Brothel Nutcracker. All right, so that leads me into the playoff picture after week 10. Josh and me would both, if the playoffs did start this week, we would both have first round buys. Like I said, we're both 7-3. Josh has a 1-game lead in his division. I've got a 2-game lead in my division, and there are only 3 weeks left in the regular season. The playoffs start in week 14. So we've just got 3 weeks left in the regular season for anyone that needs to make a move. 3rd seed right now would be Katie's team. You're in trouble. Currently the only 6-4 team, which puts her in a good spot to overtake me or Josh to get a first round bye. So we'll have to see if she can make that move. I think she's matched up against me this weekend, so that'll be a pretty big matchup there. 4th seed, if the playoffs started this week, would be Tony's team. He's started off pretty rough, but he's been picking it up as of late, which if you got to have a time to play well, that's the time to do it. So we'll have to see if he can keep it going and maybe even rise up from that 4th seed. 5th, we've got Malm Stafford Infection. These two are rivals, so if they were to meet in the playoffs, that would be a pretty fun matchup to watch. 6th seed is Brady's team, 40 ounces and a lot of bush, with a 4-6 record. And not shown here is the Sacco Bowl. If the playoffs started this week, it would be Jana against Ring. And so Ring would be trying to defend his Sacco championship, I guess. Basically, the playoff picture comes down to in the East Division, every team is still every team in the East Division has a shot of getting a 1 or 2 seed. Brady's 3 games behind me with 3 games to play, so it would be a stretch. I would have to lose all 3, and Brady would have to win all 3 to overtake me. And like I said earlier, he's only a game behind Malm and Tony, so he's definitely still alive in the playoff hunt. And even on the other side, Ring and Jana are only a game behind Brady, so it would only take a game here or there for one of them to overtake Brady's spot as well. So everyone's still got a shot right now. Some have a better shot than others, but definitely a shot for everyone, and these last few weeks are pretty important. So good luck to everybody, and we'll have to see what the playoffs bring us in a few weeks. All right, so now we'll look at the Week 11 matchups. First matchup, like I mentioned earlier, my team is matched up against Katie's team. Last time we met was Week 4. The same for everyone, but Week 4, Katie beat me by quite a bit, if I remember right. So hopefully I can reverse that this week, but only time will tell with that one. It's a pretty big matchup. Like I mentioned earlier, Katie can get herself in a 1 or 2 seed in a first round bye in the playoffs if she can overtake me. So pretty big matchup for both of us, and it'll be fun to see who comes out on top. Our second matchup is between Ring and Tony. When these two met in Week 4, I think Ring won it, but I'm not for sure. If Ring wants to get in the playoffs, this is definitely the starting point for him, so it's a pretty big matchup for him. And even if Tony wants a first-round bye, definitely has to get a victory here. So every matchup this week is big, so we'll have to see if Ring can upset Tony again, or if Tony's going to reverse the curse and take him down. Third matchup, we've got Brady against Josh. This was one of the better matchups of the season last time. I think it was really high scoring. I think both teams scored like over 170 points, and it was a pretty close matchup too. So hopefully it's as good a matchup this time. I know I'm rooting for Brady in this one. I'd like to see Josh go down and maybe get myself a game lead on Josh. That would be pretty good. Um, so it's a big matchup for both of them there. And our final matchup is between Jonna and Malm. I don't remember who won this matchup last time. I would assume Malm won it, but I can't be sure. Uh, like I said earlier, Malm's 5-5 and definitely has a shot in the division, and Jonna's not out of it yet, so there's always hope for her if she can get a victory this week. So those are the week 11 matchups. Like I said earlier, good luck to everybody. Injuries are hurting a lot of people right now, so hopefully it's on your team and not mine. That would be nice. But yeah, good luck to everybody, and see you for the Week 12 preview show.